All right, we've got a few people in the waiting room. Just let me. Yes, good morning, everybody from Australia. Good afternoon from Europe, or maybe somewhere. We've got a few people from America. It's nice to be here with everybody. We have a very, very special team training with Lourene's team today in Melbourne. My name is David. Who doesn't know me? I am a double ambassador diamond with ASEA. We all in Lourene's team. We got my our team leader Richard Lee is here as well, and Lourene. In today's training, it's going to be very, very special. Why is it really special? Because I got this book. I got this. Let me just. Lourene, can you just open the meeting room so that people can actually come in, so I can actually concentrate on that. Thank you. Right, cool. I'm gonna switch my virtual bedroom off now. Back to my own my reality. I got this book. If you in a network marketing business, you want to read it. Okay, you want to read it because you can see I got lots of books, but it's one of the books I got a few months back. I started reading it, but it is our honor to have the author of this, The Game of Conquering, the author Rob Sperry today with us. He's going to give us some really, really special trainings. For those who didn't know Rob, that's including myself, have reading his bios through his Facebook and website. He wrote 5 books of network marketing business. So I think a lot of us here, we're pretty new. I think we can learn, if we can learn one thing from Rob, I think we can probably use for the rest of, at least a year, 2 years. But anyway, before Rob comes up, it's my pleasure to introduce Lourene. She's our upline, as everybody knows. She has the entire Melbourne team, Australia, under her. And she's also pretty much the, I would say probably about 100% or 90% of our Australian Chinese team are under her organization.
Yes.
Yes, she. I think there's one stage everybody thinks she's doing human traffic with Asian mafia because there's too many Asian people going in and out of her house. I met this lady 5 years ago. Well, about 4 years ago, yeah. And our life has changed because of her, because she shared the product, she shared the business. We would never, ever imagine 4 years ago we'd be sitting here with her and with Rob in this business, and people really changed. So we really just want to say thank you to Lourene for organizing this wonderful training for us. So without further ado, I'll pass time to Lourene. Thank you, Lourene.
Thank you so much, David. Well, I'm absolutely thrilled today. So we've got a very good special guest today and a friend of mine. I hope it's okay to call him a friend. His name is Rob Sperry, a generic network marketer trainer, has been on the biggest stages around the world with Eric Worre, GoPro. He does retreats. He's been with Fraser Brooks. And that's where I met him initially in Australia a couple of years ago, doing a generic event with Fraser Brooks and Rob Sperry on stage with these amazing speakers. He has got so much to offer, and I wanted to bring him on today here so we can learn a little bit more about how we can build our businesses. So Rob, thank you so much for coming, and I'm going to hand it over to you. We can't hear you.
His mic is on, but there's
no sound.
He got two hosts here, but one of them got video and mic, but
I got my laptop and I got 2 different devices, so you hear me from my other device. Okay, let's see if we can get this now that you guys can hear me. I'm gonna put this right up on my mic. And let's do the screen share here, get started for all you guys. All right. We're official. We're doing it. We're making it happen. So yeah, I had so much fun. We had so much fun hanging out, right? We did breakfast in Australia. I don't know, we did lunch, dinner as well. We got to strategize. We got to chat. For me, it's been a crazy year. For a lot of you, it's been a crazy year. And I'm like, geez, if I can't travel, might as well just write books. So I'll have my third book just this year coming out, my fifth book total, but my third or maybe fourth book this year coming out in a couple of weeks. And so it's one of those fun years where what you got to do is you got to turn those lemons into lemonade, as they say, right? One of those cliches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my trainings that I've done. Lourene's seen like tons of them, right? Between my different events and watching online and different things. And so she just gets to pick and choose. In her mind, she's probably like, yeah, that one's not that good. That one's really good. That one, yeah. So I'm like, you just choose which one you want. So she chose a specific training that she liked, that I did for a really big audience, that she felt like would be very appropriate for all of you. And this is going to go over the 9-step cold to close process, how you can never run out of contacts, how you can turn cold prospects into warm prospects, what you need to do. It's going to give you a simple daily method of operation. But before that, I always like to start out with a little inspiration, a little motivation, a little bit of fun. So before I give you a motivational story, I'm going to give you some of my own personal motivation. And right now, if you see like a little thing in my mouth here, it's because I just ran my own mastermind and I lost my voice, right? Great timing. Middle of the mastermind, voice just gone, of course. So I'm down in the cough drops. This is the only training I'm doing, I think, this week. I'm like, I committed, I'm doing it. So I saved my voice for it. Hopefully it stays the whole time for all of you. Hopefully find one thing that applies to your business. So a little bit about me that's going to relate with all this. I'm naturally an introvert. Now, when I say naturally, the reason why I say that is because I believe you can be whatever you want to be. I believe that you can be whatever you want to be. And I don't box myself into a corner of claiming this is just who I am unless it's someone I want to be. So naturally, those are my tendencies. Why do I tell you that? Because when I started out in network marketing, it was the scariest thing I'd ever done. And that's important to understand, because I think many times we think either people are good at something or they're not. After I had made millions of dollars, and I make reference of this to this in the Game of Conquering, I was so worried what people thought that 5 years later, I was the number one recruiter out of million distributors. I'd made millions of dollars, and I still didn't make one post on social media pertaining to network marketing because I was so worried about the mother of all fears, which is the fear of judgment. So when you hear people say, like, if I can do it, you can do it, and you're just rolling your eyes, and you hear people talk about all their fears and concerns, and you're just like, yeah, but they're so different than me. We're all different. But in many aspects, we're all the same. I'm the guy that, baseball's bigger here in the US. I refused to swing a baseball bat, like wouldn't even swing the bat. So my dad had to threaten to ground me. I refused to speak in church, which was taboo until I was 19 years old. The church leader showed up to my house and I said, you could call me up to the pulpit in the middle of church and I'll walk out. Nobody says that. I was that scared. I didn't feel comfortable public speaking even after I'd made millions of dollars until I'd been in network marketing for 7 or 8 years. So I'm just telling you that you truly got to marry the process and divorce the results. You truly have to focus on the progress, become obsessed with the progress of just getting better. Because we all have different journeys and we all have different fears and we all have different abilities. We all have different strengths and weaknesses as we go. So one of my favorite stories pertaining to network marketing is Florence Chadwick. She's a famous swimmer, but not to most of us because it was a long, long time ago. July 4th, 1952, she decided she wanted to be the first female swimmer to swim from the California coast to the Catalina Islands, which, I don't know, kilometers, miles, I always get them mixed up. People tell me the formula, and I'm not great at math, right? I'm good at network marketing math when you look at the commission checks, right? Stuff like that. But the other math, I don't know. So 26 miles. You guys can figure whatever that is. Far. 26 miles. She wanted to become the first female swimmer ever. So she gets in the water, and on this day, you see this harpoon in this picture right here because her coach and her mom were in the boat in case they saw sharks. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, like just the thought of sharks alone, like the possibility, I'm like, I'm out, I'm done. But not Florence. So she gets in the water. It was an extremely foggy day. That's an important piece to remember. Extremely foggy. So foggy you could barely see a couple feet in front of you. So she swims and she swims and she swims and she swims. And they actually did see sharks. They shot at sharks. She kept swimming and swimming and swimming and swimming. And 15 hours and 55 minutes later, she says, I'm done. She gets out. She gets into the boat. And then they find out that she was actually only about a half a mile away from shore. So she swam 25.5 miles and a half a mile more, and she would have achieved her goal. So the reporter asks her and says, Florence, what happened? And she says this, look, I'm not excusing myself, but I know if I could have only seen land, I know I would have made it. Think about that in your network marketing business. You've got this clear vision, this clear picture. You're going to do whatever it takes. You got an incredible company, right? Your company headquarters is actually literally 5 minutes from my house. It's incredible. I met with one of your corporate employees, went to lunch with them about a month ago. And then one of your other corporate employees, Justin, lives literally 8 houses from me. That's how small of a world this is. And so I know how great your company is. I know how great your products are. I know how great your leadership is. But it's sometimes what happens is it gets foggy and you start thinking, oh, I just don't have the right style or personality. That was me, right? Told you that. Oh, I just don't know the right people. Oh, I'm just too busy. I just don't have the time, right? Things get foggy and cloudy. So guess what happened with Florence? 2 months later to the day she gets back in the water. Remember, this is the 1950s. And that day it ended up being foggy again. I can only imagine what she was thinking. She's got to be thinking, just my luck. Foggy again? Are you kidding me? So she gets in the water and she swims and she swims and she swims and she swims and she's got her mom and she's got her personal trainer, her coach there as well. And not only does she make it, she shatters the men's record by 2 hours. Shatters. And she ends up making it in just over, right about 11 hours of swimming. I mean, she smashes what she was doing before. And she gets out of the water and the reporter asks her what was different this time. And I can only imagine she's so excited someone asked her this question, right? Because it's so fun when someone asks you questions after you've achieved success. And she says, this time, I kept envisioning that land was right there. You see the difference? You see, good leaders have vision, great leaders give vision. She had this vision that was just so crystal clear. And for all of you, you've got to have that clear vision. You don't lack motivation. Let me say, oh, I lack motivation. You don't. You lack vision. When the vision is clear enough, the motivation's always there. Let me give you a quick example before we haven't even gotten into the good stuff. I'm going to go rapid fire into the good stuff here in a second. But let me give you an example. If a family member who you love to death is in your house and your house just caught on fire, you're going to risk your life and you'll go in there and save that person that you love more than anything else. Why? Because the vision's so clear. You have to. If in your network marketing business, if I could guarantee you, which I know I cannot, I'm not making any false claims, this is an analogy. If I could guarantee you that if you made 1,000 new contacts this month, which sounds like that's impossible, sounds like it. And if you did that, you would make $1 million in your network marketing business for the next 10 years. Every single one of you would find a way to make 1,000 new contacts. You wouldn't even think about it because the vision would be so clear. So the key is right now, you're asking yourselves 2 questions. Can I do it? Can I do it? Can I make this business happen? Can I do what David's doing? Can I do what Lorene's doing? Like, can I really do this business? And the second question is maybe I could do what they're doing, but is it worth it? Like I talk about in the fears in the game of conquering. Is it worth it to get rejected? Is it worth it to have people judge me? Is it worth it to deal with the possibility of failure? 90% of our fears never come to fruition. Look, people are going to judge you no matter what. They're going to judge you because you're too fat. They're going to judge you because you're too skinny, right? Oh, she works out way too much. It's just not worth it. They're going to judge you because you're too rich, because you're too poor, because you approached them too soon, because you took too long to approach them. They're going to judge you no matter what. It's part of the process, part of the deal. So now, so we move into this 9-step cold to close process. This is just going to be a massive rapid fire as we go through this for all of you. So the first step is find a Facebook interest group. Now, don't find something like, oh, who's going to love these incredible ASEA products? Look, most people should love your products. Your products are that good. So instead, why don't you think of who are people that you would have a common connection with, that it wouldn't be fake chit chat, that you could have a real conversation with. So go find a Facebook interest group. I put hiking because I've hiked all over the world. I could have these conversations. I just did hikes in Sedona, Arizona with my wife. I've hiked in the Nepali coast. A year ago, right around now, I hiked in Norway. I've hiked the Amalfi coast. I've hiked in Kauai. I've hiked all over the world. So go find something that interests you. Think right now. I want you just to think. What are some of your exciting things? What are some of your passions? What are some of the things that really just you love talking about, you love following? Go find a group. Second thing, now it may take a couple groups to find the right group. Don't go join 30, join less than 5, and then decide, okay, I found 2 that are good. And maybe you may say those first 5, none of them are good. And so you go find, 5 more, and then you find 1 or 2 that are good. So just slowly go and join as you're making it happen. So step number 2 is like and comment. This is a very simple process. Okay, these 9 steps do not take that long. Like and comment on several posts inside of that Facebook group. So you got to give to receive, right? The law of reciprocation. We don't just want to be takers, we want to be givers. It shouldn't take that long. Literally, you could spend 10 minutes and you could probably go comment / love on people, love their posts, and you could probably comment on 20 people's posts. Because again, if it's hiking, it's something I do all the time. So it's something I'm excited about, I could do that easily. I could go see this, comment on it quickly, comment quickly, maybe a little comment. Okay, I'm just giving an example. 10 minutes, 20 people. Really easy, right? Now you're getting to know people in the group. They're getting to know you. Step 3, make an engaging post in the group. Give your insight and then ask a question. Now, I like to search the group to make sure that question hasn't been asked. It's up to you, or asked recently, but then you give your own spin. So since I'm in a hiking group, it would be appropriate to say, I love hiking. It would also be appropriate, because I'm going to give my insights and perspective of my 2 favorite hikes are, number 1, Nepali coast, which I have to update that now. It would be Trolltunga, Norway. And then number 2 is I would put the Path of the Gods, Amalfi coast. What are your favorite hikes? Here's the key. Not only did I give my insight and my perspective, I said, what are your favorite hikes? Why? Facebook groups and Facebook in general love giving their opinion. They love giving you what they're excited about and what their opinion is. So now you're going to have people commenting and giving you what their favorite posts are, right? Or their favorite hikes are as they're going. And so it's something that is really, really important to ask a question. Now, here's another little hack, a little tip, a little trick, a little technique, whatever you want to call it. Don't reply to everyone's comments right away. Okay? What happens? I want you to think about this. This is a challenge to you. When someone comments on a post inside of a group, what happens to that post? It gets brought all the way up to the top, right? All the way up to the top. So what does that do? That increases your visibility. Sorry, popping in a cough drop again so I can keep that voice. So it increases your visibility. Well, you want more visibility. That means that you're going to increase even more engagement, right? It means you're going to increase even more your influence and your impact, and it makes a difference. So reply to comments once a day, because now you can get way more out of this post. And every day you bring it back up to the top, bring it back up to the top, bring it back up to the top, which can create even more engagement as you go. Step 4, friend request several in the group. Typically, it will be those that engaged on your post or those who you engaged on their post. Now, it's not limited to that. It could be anyone in the group. But now there's a sense of familiarity, right? I'm not saying you're besties, like, oh yeah, they comment on my post, they comment on their post, now we're best friends forever, send me the BFF necklace. I'm not saying you're besties, but they're not a completely cold contact anymore. So these are the people that you're going to typically friend request. Step 5 is Facebook Messenger. Instantly message those who have sent a friend request. So I send the friend request, and then instantly I'm going to go to Facebook Messenger. The money is a messenger, and I'm going to reference, right? Maybe it's a post they made. Maybe they comment on my post. Hey, thanks so much for commenting on my post. Saw your favorite hike in Switzerland. I've always wanted to go there. Or, hey, I comment on your post, loved your post, blah, blah, blah. Like, this shouldn't be fake chit chat because you're going to a Facebook interest group about something you're passionate, excited about. So it should be much more natural. These should be your people, right? These are your tribe. These are the people that you should naturally connect with anyways all over the world. So it makes it much more natural. Now, you still got to do the work. Again, all 5 of these so far, I mean, you could get this done in 30 minutes real quickly. I mean, this can become part of your daily method of operation. So build rapport, I don't mean make best friends with them for like 2 years. And then Lorene's like, hey, did you approach Billy yet? Oh, I've only known Billy for 2 years and I need to get to know him a little bit better. And then I'm going to approach him. No. So people ask me the question, when should you approach someone? Is it the first message, second, third, fourth? So I'm not going to say when as far as the exact time as far as messages go, but I'm going to give you a guideline here. If it's the first message, it's spam. The first conversation's okay. The second conversation's okay. The third conversation's okay. After the third conversation, you're getting stuck where you're not doing the income producing activities. So there is no right or wrong if it's the first, second, or third conversation. You have to figure out, how would you want to be approached? If you're one of those people that gets annoyed when someone approaches you in the first conversation, you're probably not going to feel like the bold, authentic version of yourself if you do that. If you're one of those people that gets annoyed if someone doesn't approach you the first conversation, you probably should approach them, not first message, but first conversation. Figure out what the bold version of yourself is. Step number 6. Now we transition into the ask, because I know this is a made-up phrase, no asking, no getting. So as we transition into the ask, we ask leading questions, right? Some of you are like, is that manipulative? Leading them? No. Like, think when you're dating someone, your goal, right, is you don't just right away go to them first message, hey, do you want to possibly date? Maybe someday we get married? No, it's like you got to use some common sense, and there's a process for it. So the leading question can be, an example here is, hey, what supplements do you take to keep you fit for hiking, right? Now, typically what happens when I ask a question like that, they're typically going to ask you back, what about you? What do you take? So that's why we call it a leading question. Now, what happens if they don't ask you, right? It's like, what do I do, Rob? They didn't ask me what supplements I take. Then just ask them anyways. Say, oh, that's great that you take that, or you don't take anything. I've been taking this, right? And it's helped me so much, blah, blah, blah. Fill in the benefits. And then you invite them to whatever secret sauce system you're using, your Facebook group or a Zoom or tools to take a look at. You use those tools to really make your business happen. So step 7 is you got to ask. That's the number 1 income producing activity. Too many people spend their time and everything else, right? They watch 12 Facebook Lives, listen to 5 podcasts, read 6 books, study the 72 ways the comp plan pays. They know the 92 pending patents, but they don't ask people. You got to ask people to look at your business or products. This is where you need to focus most of your time. And you may feel like, is he making fun of me? Look, I'm making fun of myself, because that's what I did when I built. Even though I was the number 1 recruiter, there were times where I did all of that. That's how I know. Step 8, follow up. This is where the fortune is in the follow-ups, right? Plural, multiple follow-ups, different third-party validations. It could be messenger chats. It could be Zooms. It could be 3-way calls. It could be using tools such as videos, Facebook groups, anything. It's just having additional validations. See how simple these are? These are just quick. I'm breaking them down in steps for you. Step number 9, sign up or they don't. And if they don't, this is a very important tip. I feel like this is one of the top things that helped me to become the #1 recruiter out of 1 million distributors. And just so everybody's clear, I'm not in the field anymore. I've retired. I'm 100% coaching. That's what I do. But this is something that I did when I was building. Is as someone said no, I said, are you okay if it sounds like right now isn't the right time for you, okay if I keep you posted on my results and everything that's going on? Almost always they said yes. So I put reminders in my phone to reach back out. Let's say it's Sally, to reach out back out to Sally 2 weeks later, non-business related. And it could be, hey, thanks Sally so much for taking a look 2 weeks ago. I know now isn't the right time or anything, so I'm not talking to you about that. I just wanted to show my appreciation and just say I really appreciated it. Or you could see a post they make, and it's something that, you saw they have a new baby or they traveled somewhere cool. And so you comment on that. Non-business related. Doesn't take very long. Be a good human being. I set another reminder in my phone 3 months later to again reach out to them. But this time I'm going to give them an update on progress in the business. You could approach them, or you could say in 3 months, it's kind of quick. Unless there's some huge change, all I'm going to do is give them an update on the business and the products and the systems. Hey, just giving you an update like I said I would, blah, blah, blah. I hope everything is going well. Then 5 or 6 months later, again, these are just reminders I put right away in my phone so that I never run out of contacts and I can recycle the people that said no. And 6 months, 5, 6 months later, I'm going to reapproach them to take a look. And that could be, again, you can figure out what wording works best for you, but it could be, hey, I know we haven't spoken at all in details about the business. It didn't work for you 6 months ago, but I'm telling you right now, it's worth taking another serious look. And you know me, if it makes sense, great. And if it doesn't, that's okay. You can point me in the right direction, but you got to come take a serious look. So you see how I'm making new contacts consistently on this through these Facebook groups. But then I'm also the people that say no, I'm recycling these contacts. You see, if you follow this process, I'm going to give you a daily method of operation right here, then you see how it can add up to helping you to focus on the income producing activities. So these are just some thoughts that you could do. 1 new post or Facebook Live counts. This is on your personal profile every single day, right? Because you want to create new exposure. You want people to get to know you. 5 new reach outs, you could do 10, 15. I personally always did at least 10 a day. That took me less than a couple minutes, 3-4 minutes, where I would just reach out, be a good human being, non-business related. I was staying in touch with people, but that doesn't work unless you do the 3rd step. I say 1 new ask. Now, of course, there are times when you're going to go much faster, but you got to set the minimum of what you're willing to do no matter what. But asking someone to look at your business or products, #1 income producing activity. Step 4, 5 new friends. This is adding new people via the Facebook groups, right, on social media. So you've got more people you're influencing and you're messaging, right, and eventually asking to look at your business or products. And then follow. And you can't really say 1 follow-up. A lot of that just is dependent on how many new contacts that you're making. So that right there is just simplifying everything, but going back to, and then I can answer questions for the next, I don't know, whatever you want, 8 minutes or so. I've got some extra time here. I don't know how long you guys plan. I plan on 30 minutes, but my next training isn't till 14 minutes. I probably better be on a little early for that, but I'm happy to answer any questions. But I want you to think about Florence Chadwick. Think about the vision she had. Think about how foggy it was, how close she was, how so many of you were right there, but you've got to envision land right there. And then you've got to focus on the income producing activities, and you got to truly marry the process and divorce the results. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut for a second. Lourene, David,
Thank you so much. I love that. Marry the process, divorce the results. I just love all that. I think it's fantastic, that saying. But I'm sure quite a few would love to ask a question. So David, do you want to
question? Yeah, sure. I would like to see if anybody want to open the question with Rob. I actually want to ask Rob a question. So, you obviously transfer from, how long ago you started a network marketing business?
2008.
2008. So you have seen, we call the pre-social media age, and you kind of going through the stage, and now you've been everybody's talking about online, everybody. So can you tell our listener here what people always thinking the online and offline is different, but I think it's the same because you're still dealing with people. So I want to ask you, what is the biggest challenge when you first started? What was the first, what kind of things, the biggest things you have to get over with?
Yeah, the principles are always the same. They never change. The techniques are, let me move my phone here closer so you guys can hear me. The techniques are what change, the principles don't. And so, with that, some of the things that, are challenges for everyone are, who do I talk to? It's overcoming the mental fears of what do I say? How do I say it? And so many people are so worried about doing everything so perfectly that they never take action. And that's why I call it the mother of all fears, is the fear of judgment. Think about it. Remove the fear of judgment. You don't have the fear of success. You don't have the fear of failure. You don't have the fear of inadequacy. You don't have the fear of rejection. It's the mother of all fears. And so we get stuck in our own way. And instead, we need to think like John Maxwell says, fail forward. You all had success, right? Those of you that are top leaders. And I had success because I just failed faster. I failed forward. Lourene, she's a professional athlete. She understands like the grind and the challenge of winning and losing consistently. I played semi-professional tennis, right? I won a ton, but I also lost a lot. And I just kept going back. How do I get better? 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 And overcoming those mental fears, that's why I always say mindset will eat skills and systems for breakfast. And that's why I started with mindset, even though we focused a lot on skills and strategies. Because without the right mindset, it doesn't matter how well the skills and strategies are taught, you're never going to have the mental capacity to actually execute them and make it happen. So, that's what I would say is as you're going and you're building. And then I would just say online versus offline. Look, if you're doing it right, three-way calls is what everyone did before. You can still do three-way calls, but extract the principle. What's the principle? Third-party validations. So whether you're doing a Zoom or you're doing a group chat on Facebook, right? Or you're doing a three-way call, they're all the same. The technique's different, but the principle is exactly the same. So the principles haven't changed at all. We've just increased the velocity and speed of doing everything if you do social media right. Where people do social media wrong is where they think they can just post and pray, and they can make posts and it's like attraction marketing, all these people are going to be in your business, and that's not reality, right? You can create great posts, which creates great exposure, but you still got to do the deal. You still got to reach out to people. It's still a relationship business.
Yeah, thank you, Rob. Yeah, I think that's great insight here, because a lot of people who come, like you said, the last bit of people always thinking, always talk about attraction. This is about attraction business, but people get it mixed up by thinking all you need to do is do a nice post on the Facebook and people are going to pop up and line up, sign for you. But actually, if we hear Rob said, it actually requires a lot of work. It's the same thing. Whether you press your finger or you actually talking to that person, real person, it's always the same thing. Thank you, Rob. I don't know if anybody got questions. Sebastian got a question?
Yeah. Good day, Rob. Sebastian here from Melbourne. Thanks very much for all the insights. One of my personal challenges is to be continually consistent and persistent. After all these years with network marketing, a no still hurts. So what are some of the techniques that you personally employed while you were building network marketing businesses to maintain that focus, to maintain that consistency and persistency, and to keep going?
Yeah, that's a deep one. We could spend an hour on that. So I'm going to summarize as much as I can on it. I mean, the first thing, like I said, it really starts with a clear vision.
Yeah.
And so what I had to do is, I did all the old school stuff. I created a vision board. I created a mission statement, and I read the mission statement 10 times a day. I put the mission statement in my office as far as what my purpose was. I put the mission statement on the opposite side of my shower. My wife hated it. She thought it just looked ugly in you know, our shower. And then I put all these quotes there, and I memorized like 10 different quotes because I needed it. I did the personal development consistently. I sacrificed listening to music when I went to the gym, or when I was in the car. Instead of listening to music, I was listening to personal development as I went. Then what I did is I had to create new habits. So the way to create new habits is you start really small, and you create what's called either the minimums or the non-negotiables. So there's the BHAGs, which comes from the book Good to Great, Jim Collins, of creating your huge goals, right? That's good. You're going to have those times. But I always say, show me your minimums, I'll show you your future. Show me your habits, I'll show you your future. What do I mean by that? What are you willing to do no matter what? And you've got to create a commitment to build these keystone habits. So I started out with personal development. I made a commitment in 2008 that I would not miss personal development. It's been now almost 13 years, and I haven't missed one day of personal development. Sounds really good. Well, guess what? It is, but guess what also? I only committed to making sure I read for even just 30 seconds. So many of those days were just 30 seconds, but I kept the habit of doing something good. Then I created the higher goal of, well, my goal is I want to do at least 45 minutes every day. So I have two sets of goals. One is the minimum to create the habits. Same thing for working out. Same thing for other things in my business. So for your business, it could be, you're going to create a goal of, I'm going to reach out to, on my very worst week, when I feel sick and I'm tired and I'm not motivated, I'm going to reach out to 3 new people about my business. And that right there, if you can create a minimum habit like that, again, all the other things I talked about at the beginning will help you with the vision board and the mission statements and the personal development. The action is so important. It's learn, action, 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 learn, action, 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 not learn, a little bit of action. And so by doing that, I started creating these incredible habits where I couldn't fail. Like I just couldn't fail. And of course, you're still going to have your blitz weeks and days and months where you just go crazy and you do awesome. But the key is what are you doing on the bad days, bad weeks, bad months? And if you can set those at a bare minimum of progressing, then you're going to do well. There are going to be times where we walk, times where we even crawl, times where we jog, times where we sprint. But the goal is always to at the very least, be crawling. And that's what I always did. There were times where I literally crawled in this business because I was unmotivated, burnt out. I didn't have the vision. I wasn't sure if I could make it in this business. I mean, my 5th month in network marketing, I worked 80 hours a week and I made less than $400 for the month. Talk about how hard it is to have vision. I could have gone to work at McDonald's making a minimum wage and I would have been filthy rich compared to network marketing that month. So I had
but you still be flipping hamburgers though.
Over and over.
Okay, thank you very much, Rob. Appreciate it, man.
I've got a question for you, Rob. I would love to know when you're going to come down to your next mastermind on this side of the world.
Oh, geez. Well, when are you guys gonna even allow me to come there?
That's
right
true.
now, I can't even go. So the first question is when is your country gonna allow me to go?
Okay, it's going to be at least 12 months, all right? So yeah,
it's like every 6 months, it's 12 more months. Like, oh my goodness, geez, I'm going crazy. So hopefully, I actually did think about that this last week. I was thinking about both Australia and Europe, but the closest I know I'll be to Australia is I'll do a mastermind in Bora Bora in November this time next year. So that's the closest I'll be for now, right? And then we'll see after that. We'll see.
So can you just give a little bit insight? What sort of things that you cover on a mastermind retreat camp?
Yeah, there's 2 different kinds of mastermind. So one is my breakthrough mastermind. That's for those that haven't made 6 figures. And we go over a ton of mindset, limiting beliefs, the top 5 fears, self-sabotage that people go through, accountability, the question that was just asked as far as how do I stay motivated? How do I hold myself accountable? Because, we're used to being told what to do by our parents, our bosses, our teachers, and all of a sudden we start network marketing and we're our own bosses. We get to do what we want and when we want. And so, you know, it's one of those things that is absolutely key and critical to learn how to have the right mindset as we go. And then from there, we'll cover a lot of in-depth strategies for recruiting, doing your own personal blitzes and team blitzes, even if you only have a small team of 1 or 2 people, how to do that, how to grow that, how to step into your leadership. Then there's the Leader of Leaders Mastermind, which is for the 6- and 7-figure earners. That is a lot of things like personal branding, a lot of things like how to create better systems, duplication, how to run like big team promotions, and how to do more recognition for your team. And so we cover just, you know, some of the latest and greatest things to utilize. One of the favorite sessions people love is we spent 40 minutes on virtual assistants, where to find them, how to use them, how to best use them to maximize your time. And so completely different types of masterminds, but it's one of the places that I draw massive energy because I'm a coach. It can be lonely. I don't have a network marketing team. So a lot of these masterminds, these people become my family. And in my eyes, they become my team of the people, you know, I'm cheering on and helping. So, and I get to choose where to go. So I always choose fun places.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, I know you push your time. I want to thank you so much. But if you could send me the links to your books, and I'll definitely post them to the group, and also details about your mastermind in Bora Bora, because who knows, maybe we'll be out of jail by then and we can come.
Yes.
So
please, let's hope, right? I mean, this will be the first year, and I've been the last 3 years to Australia. This will be the first year, 2021, that I'm not there the way it's going, which I'm not planning on it. So that's all right. We'll come back with a roar, right? Have some fun. So, hey, I just want to let you all know I really appreciate you for tuning in. I know you take your business seriously. That's why you're on right now. And I'm not just saying this as cliche or fluff. You can do this. I've seen people in companies way worse than yours, with leadership way worse, with products way worse, do very well. You are the X factor. And I'm not saying it's easy. I get it. Trust me. Like I said, 80 hours a week, I made less than $400 my first December. I'm not saying it's easy. I am telling you, though, it's 100% worth it. It's time for you to bet on you. It's time for you to merely stop just surviving. And it's time to become a conqueror and take all out action and wreak some havoc and go into beast mode and step into your greatness. So I just want to say thank you so much for all of you for tuning in. And we'll do this again.
Awesome. I love that.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you very much, Bob. Thank you. Wow.